Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on the world of big data. Today, my guest is from DDN. We have Jeff Denworth. He's the VP of Marketing at the company. Jeff, welcome to the show today.
Always great to be on, Rich. Thanks for having us back.
Well, it's my pleasure. So Jeff, you've got a new announcement here, and maybe we should start at the beginning, though, for people who might not be familiar with DDN. Who is Data Direct Networks, and who do you help?
Sure. So DDN is basically the world leader in high performance and scale out computing, where customers have challenges of capturing, processing, storing, and distributing data at massive scale. In 2012, we sold nearly $300 million our file, our block, and our object storage products to basically solve a number of challenges across the high performance computing, the web scale computing, the intelligence, and the media markets, where ultimately people care not only about the data that they're storing in their infrastructure, but extracting value from that data at high rates of speed.
So we're here today to talk about a Hadoop appliance, kind of big data market. Is this new for the company?
Well, so that's an interesting question. Oftentimes within DDN, we make the statement that we've been in big data long before the term was even invented, and the company's now in its 15th year. And the interesting thing about Hadoop and big data computing is it's basically applying a parallel computing construct or concept to business intelligence and data analytic applications. So, I mean, you've been in HPC for a long time too. I think both of us would kind of agree that parallel computing to large data sets for purposes of analytics is not anything new. And we've been working on those types of challenges for a long, long time in the markets that we're very strong in, including places like oil and gas or weather forecasting or life sciences, where that's all we're doing all day long is analytics.
And in this case, with the hScalar we're going to learn about today, this is kind of targeted at what unstructured data, or I guess I'll bring the slides up. Maybe you can tell us more.
Sure. So hScalar is quite an exciting product for DDN. We're moving into a time when the DDN engineering team is nearly 200 people around the world, and we've got a number of different projects going on, really, that are focused on minimizing the cost of computing and helping our customers extract the greatest value from their data, and leveraging the history and the heritage that DDN has in high-scale, very efficient computing. It kind of makes sense if you overlay on top of that the markets that we operate in, that a Hadoop appliance is kind of the next evolution of DDN's product portfolio. So hScalar is a fully integrated enterprise-class Hadoop appliance that's designed to basically to enable customers for the first time to get something that is completely turnkey with full enterprise systems management, gracefully and non-disruptively handle failures at massive levels of scale, and supports configurations which are much more flexible than what you would get with a commodity Hadoop cluster implementation. So we can always dial into a customer's TCO requirements in the best possible way through superior flexible configuration capabilities. But ultimately, this is a product that's meant to really enable the enterprise adoption of a complex technology that customers are really trying to get their head around. We're hearing that Hadoop projects can take anywhere from 6 to 9 months to get off the ground, and hScalar for us is the opportunity to really take the complexity out of deploying this new class of technology. And we're literally building a product that is so simple where you can roll it into your environment, point your data sources to our ETL, and be doing queries the same day that you receive our system. So that's why we're pretty excited about it. So we're announcing the product at the Strata show, which is a leading big data analytics show happening, and we're excited to showcase the capabilities of the product and its complementary nature to the larger product portfolio at the Strata conference, and we'll be, of course, wheeling our hScaler product around to all sorts of different shows within the vertical markets that we operate in over the course of the spring timeframe, and have all sorts of resources online on our website for people that want to learn more. First, giving some context around the use of Hadoop-style computing within our customer environments and within the larger enterprise environments that you'd find this class of computing. And the interesting thing is that Hadoop is really opening up a new class of storage and processing category within the data center. Within DDN, we're calling this a big data refinery. It's not a new concept, and actually the CEO of WebTrends some time ago kind of identified that big data is in some ways a lot like oil, and it requires collection, mining, and analysis before people can realize the true business value of this information. And what we're finding is the establishment in data centers of a new category of systems that we're calling a data refinery, where the projects are all incremental. People are adding this as a complementary resource to, let's say, their proper business intelligence or data warehouse tools. And it's designed to make all of these infrastructure more efficient by curating and correlating data much more efficiently than conventional tools have been able to. So it sits between basically our ingest and processing systems and the warehouse and analytics processes. And all of this data can ultimately be geo-distributed through our WAS product, which interoperates with our other platforms that support different types of enterprise class computing tools, such as the Vertica product from HP or SAS Institute's SAS Analytics portfolio. So looking now at what the challenges are with really high-scale data analytics, I'm looking at slide 4 now. Really, the challenge is both reflected in terms of technical skills, where you have a large amount of data science and systems infrastructure skills that are required to support analytics at high levels of scale. And the business drivers, which are ultimately, I need to understand my business enough to be asking the right questions to a system, and I need a system that supports my objectives, but ultimately the combination of enabling this level of curiosity while also making the system simple to use is critical for businesses to leverage the data science power that is capable with big data. So when you drill down into Hadoop, looking at slide 5, we start to look at some of the challenges and the complexities of this type of technology. And Hadoop is a very powerful, Apache Hadoop is a very powerful stack of software that is designed for high-scale analytics, composed of a number of different types of technologies, ranging from Cassandra to HDFS to Hive to Uzi to HBase to Chakwa. And at the end of the day, the average IT manager and the average line of business customer that ultimately is the one that defines the value of Hadoop, not familiar with these technologies, and they're not up to speed on the evolution of the marketplace. So the learning curve for complex concepts, new technologies, and the integration of all these tools has become very, very complex. To the tune that we're seeing organizations today say that the cost of their Hadoop implementation can be as much as 4 times what their original projections are. And largely that's because of the talent required to deploy these systems on their own. If I look forward to slide 6, the second key challenge in Hadoop is basically total cost of ownership. And we're very careful not to talk about acquisition costs when we talk about Hadoop, because concepts such as systems administration and failure remediation are things that you have a really tough time putting a number on. But at the end of the day, they they impact the cost of what it costs to deploy and manage these types of systems. So in fact, only 36% of a Hadoop system is associated with what you're actually buying, and 64% is the cost of operating this in an environment. And so as systems scale, our objective as enterprise systems providers is really to make sure that the OpEx does not grow disproportionately, and ideally is reduced as a function of building better tools to solve infrastructure management problems. And that takes us to slide 7, where we need to reflect upon just the state of the market and how people get support. So we have hardware platforms, we have software platforms, we have ETL tools, we have networking, we have professional services, and all of this is really overwhelming organizations that are looking for just a single place to go to simply say, I understand that I need a parallel computing methodology applied to my business analytics tools. I understand that Hadoop is an approach to this, and I'm looking for somebody that can simply make my life easier. So enter a new class of enterprise platforms that are coming out to the market that really are designed to solve all of this, and DDN is the first to really provide this product in a way that it's fully integrated and completely serviced and supported by one enterprise systems provider. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, one of the key failings of conventional Hadoop infrastructures today is the one-to-one correlation between capacity and compute. And whether I have a fat data node or a thin data node, as you grow environments today with conventional Hadoop scaling methods, then what you have is an imbalance that results from either having too much capacity or too much performance that ultimately rolls up into an inefficient CapEx spend. So when we look at what the ideal is for a big data environment, I'm looking at slide 9 now, what we have is a key set of requirements that really have been identified as the barriers for helping Hadoop cross the chasm, become an enterprise-grade platform. The first is people just want simple tools to enable value extraction from their information. Secondarily, scalability is key, and as you grow systems, the cost can't be hyperlinear, and in fact need to erode or decrease over time as you grow the size of the system, not grow over time as you grow the size of the system on a per unit basis. So scalability is key, and investment protection goes along with really ensuring that as the system scales, it is as efficient or more efficient than it is at a smaller level. And then finally, when we think about the requirements, ultimately what we need is something that is cost-effective, delivers business meaningful results, eliminates the need for computer scientists in addition to the need of data scientists, and that can minimize data center impact. So let's pivot a little bit and move to slide 11 and talk a little bit about what DDN is announcing today. The product is called hScalar, and it's the first enterprise Apache Hadoop Appliance to enable mainstream Hadoop adoption across a collection of markets that are both big data computing savvy and high performance computing savvy and well beyond that. So hScalar enables customers to basically get the best time to value from their analytics infrastructure. It's a highly engineered platform that leverages the expertise that the world leader in massively scalable storage and computing infrastructure can uniquely bring to bear. But the key driver for all of it is actually simplicity. What we really wanted to do is take the tools that DDN has implemented to enable performance and efficiency and enable those to help DDN and enable DDN to be competitive. But at the end of the day, none of this makes sense for us or for our customers unless it's wickedly simple to deploy and manage so that we can derive real business value for our customers. And then finally, one of the ways that we get to optimization is beyond just the performance optimizations that we made, is the flexible scaling approach that we're introducing with the hScalar concept. Looking at our product focus, we're focused on a very specific set of the market. We're not looking at kind of low-end Hadoop implementations and small commodity analytics cluster-style deployments where people are running under 100 nodes or so. hScalar has the power to deliver up to 7 times the performance of a conventional Hadoop node. And so we don't compare apples to apples, but the entry point for the system is the equivalent of about 100 node commodity Hadoop cluster today. And we can scale that to be equivalent to up to 8,000 nodes of a commodity Hadoop cluster with the hScalar configuration, but reflect that this is using a considerably smaller amount of compute nodes actually with our implementation, just because we're able to drive considerably higher levels of performance. The product can also be sold as a reference architecture. And we're not so naive to think that if you've got your own Hadoop staff or high-scale data analytics staff of software engineers within your own environment, that providing a turnkey appliance necessarily always makes sense. In some cases it may, in some cases it not. But we already have some HPC customers and some web-scale computing customers that are deploying our storage fusion architecture, which is at the core of every hScalar system, as their reference, as the storage foundation, for high-scale Hadoop environments. So we are enabling a class of customers to deploy the hScalar blueprint, where we'll sell some or all of the infrastructure, assuming that what they're using is already certified by us. And that blueprint enables those customers that are operating at the highest levels of the scalability spectrum to roll their own while still getting the benefits of our hScalar technology, which include a dramatic reduction in total cost of ownership, a reduction in the data center infrastructure requirements, and ultimately a more simple approach to scaling and deploying Hadoop clusters. Our hScalar technology is really a complement to the broader analytics program that we have going on within the company today. And our base, we're seeing not necessarily a directional change, but a additional class of applications come to us that we haven't always, the market hasn't always associated DDN with these applications. But the applications that are operating at the highest data analytics are well beyond Hadoop. These include the SAS Grid product or the Vertica Data Warehouse, or even financial services analytics tools from KX. And in all cases, what's happening is the customers of these products are hitting a wall. And as with our Hadoop product, the SFA platform as a core storage engine for high-scale analytics basically allows customers to achieve a much better balance of I/O performance with compute and really offload all of the data management and data protection tasks to a purpose-built platform that happens to be the world's fastest storage system. So we can build large clusters still and balance them appropriately with our storage appliances, as opposed to enterprise storage appliances today that aren't so fast, and you need just a tremendous amount of them to balance with today's compute I/O requirements. So we've resolved that problem, and we've applied it to an appliance concept that we're calling hScalar. Slide 14, just looking at hScalar specifically, let's look at the key takeaways here. It is engineered by the world's storage performance leader to basically deliver a Hadoop computer efficiency or Hadoop node efficiency of up to 7 times what people can achieve with conventional Hadoop configurations. So we're really turning convention upside down by not advocating or deploying a purely scale-out method. We're using centralized storage here, but very, very powerful centralized storage to enable high-speed I/O offload. The enterprise management, resilience, and ETL tools really enable us to deliver an enterprise appliance experience that we deliver completely turnkey. And this is why we say that this is the first true Hadoop enterprise appliance. And then finally, when you look at all of this in terms of total cost of ownership, because we're able to drive so much efficiency, because we're able to simplify the Hadoop experience as much as we have, it really results in a total cost of ownership model that is quite lower than what the industry benchmark is today. And with this release, we're releasing also a number of different reference configurations where we're happy to put forward our TCO models immediately and show customers how significant the savings can be. So why did DDN do it? Well, we happen to be the leader in high-performance computing storage technology. And increasingly, these tools are being applied to high-scale analytics. And because of our leadership platform, the SFA, we can deliver an experience for customers that is very appropriately balanced with the compute requirements of today and enable scalable computing units that require just a little bit of very high speed, very performance efficient storage. And that storage can perform up to 8 times faster than our competitors are capable of. Some of the other things that we bring to the table are an end-to-end RDMA storage implementation that exploits the power of SFA storage for not only the shuffle process within a Hadoop environment, but also is resolving a misnomer within the marketplace that all processing always goes to the data. And in large-scale clusters, we'll review this in the white paper that we're releasing with the announcement. Large-scale clusters, in fact, Hadoop computers often go out to the network for up to 30% of their the data that they need to complete a job. And the SFA platform really resolves that problem by enabling better than direct attached storage performance to a petabyte class data store at RDMA speeds, which is tremendously faster than what people can today over commodity networking. Finally, we have an innovative I/O node architecture where we have the ability to pipeline data in ways where Hadoop today, in fact, operates quite serially. And the architecture is designed basically to resolve the wait time associated with a Hadoop node staging its own data during a shuffle process. And through that, we can get up to 30% additional node efficiency just through this one optimization, and it's one of many. And then finally, because we've reduced everything in this configuration, we've reduced the computing requirements, we've reduced the networking requirements, we've reduced the disk requirements by upwards of 60%, and we've reduced the overall packaging such that we leverage the very high density disk packaging of the SFA platform. We're actually reducing data center footprint by up to 50%. And today we're seeing customers build whole data centers, whole multi-$100 million data centers for Hadoop computing. And we're having very, very serious discussions with them now around either not deploying whole additional data centers or not requiring nearly half the space that they do for Hadoop computing just by virtue of the benefits of our reference architecture or the hScalar product as an appliance. So that's pretty exciting. And all of this rolls into a very robust product and services delivery strategy that we have for what we view as a $10 billion opportunity as DDN is the first mover in helping Hadoop cross the chasm. So slide 15 really is just summarizing the hScalar big data challenges that get resolved. The first is complexity. We've got a simple ETL query interface that's managed by, from an ease of use perspective, a appliance model that is wrapped up with a turnkey Hadoop plus server plus networking plus storage management utility that we call DirectMon. It's supported by a one-throat-to-choke business model where DDN will handle all of your support calls ranging from your ETL to your support for Hadoop processing to compute to networking to storage, All of that is just one phone call away. And from a total cost of ownership perspective, this allows us to really drive the lowest TCO, but reflect upon the fact that the engineering efficiencies also put us in a very, very good position from just a hardware acquisition perspective. We've engineered a platform that drives computers up to 7 times faster, and our configurable model where you can add compute or storage dynamically allows us to really compete very well on a just a hardware acquisition basis and enable our customers to reduce their costs for every single aspect of their buying and their management processes. So that's very exciting, and what it enables us to do is really help the enterprise adopt the power of Hadoop and the power of MapReduce processing with the world's first true enterprise Hadoop appliance. So that's basically the elevator pitch. I know it was a little bit longer than a normal elevator ride, but the interesting thing to reflect upon is that there is a pivot right now going on within the marketplace, and as a broader base of enterprise customers is really looking for the power of shared nothing, high scale analytics, Hadoop is absolutely a contender for these types of approaches to solving these problems, but there's still a number of barriers associated with that broad scale adoption, which you were talking with me earlier about security. That's just an example of one. And from an infrastructure perspective, DDN has taken the approach of turning convention upside down. And the benefit for our customers is quite simple. We're driving infrastructure up to 7 times faster, which you can either take to the bank in terms of faster time to results, or by reducing your infrastructure by upwards of 70%. The second aspect of this is all of this is designed to ultimately make Hadoop computing easier and at a higher level make high-scale shared nothing analytics faster and simple to manage. And that's ultimately what DDN has been doing for over a decade in all the markets that we service, is reducing the cost of computing and making scaling of data-intensive processing infrastructure easier and simpler to manage. So we're applying that blueprint to hScalar, and we're really, really excited about the opportunity ahead of us. So with that, I think we'll stop there, Rich. I know I've taken up way more of your time than you expected, and ask if you have any questions.
Oh, thanks for that, Jeff. Yeah, I saw a statistic the other day. It said that of all the companies using Hadoop out there, only 20% or so are using it in production. And I was wondering if that jives with what you're seeing out there, and if this turnkey technology could help turn that around.
Well, so I think a lot of those projects are in flight, and when we look at the opportunity, it's really for let's say in a perfect world, hScalar was everywhere. You would have a situation where just customers would be considerably less in the mode of integrating and tuning these systems and more into the mode of running production jobs on them. So the answer is yes. But the principal focus that we have here with hScalar is well beyond that. We think that there's a class of customers that isn't touching this type of technology today because from the onset, they have trepidation about the learning curve. So yes, we can help condense or compress that time to value for the people that have their projects in flight today. But there's so much more opportunity for organizations that are they're trepidatious or they're anxious to begin their projects because it can seem so daunting.
And then, Jeff, being at DDN, you guys have a lot of experience with Lustra, which is known for being complex to deploy and maintain, right, and get the benefits from. So do you see this as a similar kind of challenge, but with just different parameters?
Absolutely. So DDN has been shipping Lustra appliances since the mid-2000s. Our direct mon product was was announced for Lustre Supercomputing last year as an enterprise Lustre management tool. We've embedded Lustre services into our appliances so that you have just a simple building block that you put onto the network and you scale performance or capacity as you need to. And so we're implementing that blueprint for a much larger application set or a much larger market opportunity, we believe. And DDN has built, I think, a very strong business model of taking sophisticated tools within the marketplace, either from a storage management or a processing perspective, integrating them very, very tightly with a high-performance storage and processing framework, and then deploying them as an appliance to a mass audience. And you're right, Rich, that's exactly the playbook that we're playing here.
Well, great, Jeff. Kind of a wrap-up question here. How easy is it for someone to kick the tires on this and see if it's right for them?
We have a number of actually demo and benchmark centers around the world. We have one in the United States, we have one in Germany, and we have one in Japan. And in all of these cases, customers can demonstrate or see a demonstration of our hScalar appliance there. If you'd like one delivered to your doorstep, you just have to let us know that eventually you may buy one, and we're happy to go through that qualification process.
Well, terrific.
We'll be shipping at the end of this,
go ahead.
quarter, and we've got a bunch of betas in play, and we'll be shipping at the end of this quarter, and the pipeline looks pretty robust. So we're kind of excited by that, and entertaining all beta project quests that are coming our way.
Well, terrific. Well, Jeff, I guess congratulations on your launch, because that'll be past tense by the time folks hear this podcast. And I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
So thank you. Always appreciate the time, Rich.
You bet. You bet. Okay, folks, that's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on the world of big data.